Hi everyone, my name is Esredu and I will welcome you back to my channel. Well, we are back again with our reaction videos, and as way of acknowledging the source of this video, it is from Turning Point USA. And Charlie Kirk can't believe what he hears from a student from, a Marxist college. Without much ado, ladies and gentlemen, please sit back, relax, and let's enjoy this video to the fullest. Let's go!
I just want to start off by saying that it's always great to be politically active than to not be politically active, so I thank you for that. But I do want to start off by saying earlier I was outside protesting, as I usually do on campus, with a sign that says, "Tear the fascists down." Now, for those who don't know what fascism is, it's an ideology associated with Nazism. As I had this sign not affiliated to anybody, I had a group of individuals come up to me saying openly they were fascists attending your event and called me the F word while at it. It's not lies. Now, I am not here to call you a fascist. I'm not. As I know you're not a Nazi sympathizer. You've never openly sympathized Nazism. I can see that. But people who openly call themselves fascists are here and are not afraid to admit they are fascists. So my question is, will you denounce fascism today, as the definition online puts it, as an ideology including racial nationalism and authoritarianism today?
Yes. Will you denounce Marxism as the greatest killer of human beings in the last 100 years?
Well, describe Marxism to me.
I'm sorry, what?
Describe Marxism to me.
The ideology that Mao Zedong, Joseph Stalin, Vladimir Lenin, and Pol Pot employed to the massacre over 100
It did kill millions of people. You're right. Correct.
Okay, so I'll denounce fascism. You denounce Marxism. Yeah?
Well, I would have to say, like, by definition. No. Hold on. So my thing is that, was it Marxism itself, or was it a materialistic condition that caused that? Because as Marxists, what we do say is that there's material conditions that contribute to society. Now, you probably aren't familiar with dialectical materialism. I'll try to explain it real quickly.
No, I've read the Phenomenology of Spirit, and I know Hegel. But
okay.
No, but tell me, but why not denounce Marxism? I mean, so Mao Zedong, Marxist, Lenin, Marxist, Joseph Stalin, Marxist.
I'll denounce Joseph Stalin for you, definitely, yes. Stalin was an authoritarian leader who definitely killed millions of Ukrainians during the export of grain to, of course, build up their economy.
But there's nothing about, you don't think there's anything about the ideology that leads to the suffering, impoverishing, or the murdering?
Well, just like how Hitler called himself a socialist, it's not the ideology, it's just what you actually do in practice.
Yes, he did call himself a socialist.
Yeah.
But he was not a Marxist.
He was not, yeah.
But the National Socialist Workers' Party is the actual name of Nazism. But where has Marxism ever worked?
Well, I wouldn't say that Marxism itself has ever actually been tried. Now, of course, you can always say, like, oh, like, that's an easy communist getaway question to it, right?
Well, but Marxism has killed a lot more people than Hitler. Everywhere it's tried, it results in famine, impoverishing, death, destruction. I mean, every failed country on the planet right now, including North Korea, is some form of a Marxist dictatorship.
Well,
so why is it hard to denounce that? Because it's easier for me to denounce fascism. Why the struggle to just say, Marxism, bad, evil, end of story? Why can't we agree on that?
Well, because if you look at, I'll give the example of North Korea. What we did is that we went in there during the Korean War and destroyed all their factories, right? Now, what did this leave? This left an impoverished society where they now had no means to, of course, get their needs because their factories were destroyed. So that's number one on why North Korea. Now, I don't like North Korea. I'm just saying that's one reason why.
Has nothing to do with the Marxist leader? Nothing?
He's not a Marxist leader. I wouldn't consider himself a Marxist leader.
So what ideology is his?
So the ideology of Marxism is simply that workers own the means of production. The workers in North Korea do not own the means of production.
Would they have private property rights in North Korea?
They don't.
Then who owns the means of production?
The government does.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but in a Marxist society,
that would be Marxism?
No, it's not, because the workers own the means of production, not the government.
But who is the government?
The government is the people, the bureaucrats.
Oh,
the bureaucrats who control the power.
Okay, and that would be the people, the bureaucrats owning the means of production, otherwise known as Marxism?
No. You're getting it all wrong. Literally, the word definition of Marxism is that workers own the means of production.
Right. So where has that ever been tried or worked? You say it's never been tried ever?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, got it. So even though the hammer and sickle and core Marxist ideology has been invoked repeatedly by these leaders, you're saying, no, not a Marxist. No, not a Marxist. No, not a Marxist. Over 100 times it has been tried on every single continent, from Mugabe in Rhodesia, which became Zimbabwe, to parts of India, to China, to Korea, to parts of Eastern Europe, to Central and South America, to Venezuela. None of that is Marxist, even though they say they're Marxist.
Well, it's tampering with Marxism because you have sanctions and you bomb their countries. So, I mean, if you want to call that Marxism, then if you sanction and bomb them, I guess that's Marxism.
Wait, so how have we sanctioned and bombed these like Venezuela?
Like Venezuela has sanctions to where we don't buy their oil anymore.
Yeah, why do you think we're sanctioning them?
Because they have Marxist ideologies that don't incorporate with capitalist ideology.
Well, yeah, they're also like a quasi-terror state. But let's talk about Venezuela. Venezuela used to be rich and prosperous when they had the private ownership of minerals.
Fact.
Why is Venezuela now one of the poorest countries in South America? What ideology caused that?
See, but that's the thing, though. It's not the ideology, it's the practice. Now, you could say the practice is Marxism, but again, do the workers own the means of production in that country?
Somebody does.
Yeah, somebody does, but not the workers.
Yeah, the government owns. So, I mean, in like the purest form of Das Kapital Marxism, it is the government that comes in and abolishes private property. Correct?
This is, of course, called, I think, the dictatorship of the proletariat, I think is what you're referring to.
Right. So
Yeah.
let me ask you a question. So you believe in this like abstract Marxism that you don't ever want to denounce, even though it's been tried 100 times.
But again, you say try, but we just said that it hasn't been tried because workers haven't owned the means of production.
Okay, well, why do you think that is? Because they use the swan song of Marxism, and Marxism will always result in an oligarchy or a dictatorship. Okay. Because you know why? It's impossible to, quote unquote, have the workers owns the means of production because we don't share well as human beings. That's why only someone that has, and with all possible due respect, an infant understanding of human nature can think communism can work, because we're self-interested at our core. And you have an economic system that is built not on private property, but on, quote unquote, shared goods. You're going to have a dictator on top of it that is going to exploit and terrorize. And so you started this conversation by asking me to denounce fascism, which is responsible for about 10 to 15 million deaths, said ideology. I'm pleading you one more time to denounce Marxism, that is responsible for minimum 100 to 120 million deaths.
Okay, academics have proven that wrong. That's not true. That's from the Black Book of Communism. That has
How many people did Mao kill?
Mao killed about 30 to 40 million.
How many people did Stalin kill?
Stalin killed about 20 to 30 million.
Okay, now we're at like 60 million, and I just named like 2 countries, man. Okay? So like we're out of the gate, and we're at like 60 million, okay?
Yeah.
So I can keep on going, right, if you want to talk famine, impoverishing, lowering of standard of living. But what I want to just reiterate as we close this out, there's this pathological fascination with fascism, 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 and a complete ignoring that Marxism, which is the other side of the authoritarian coin, has been far deadlier, far more costly, and is far more popular. And I'll ask this final question. What do you think has a greater chance of catching on in America, fascism or Marxism?
I would say fascism.
Okay. You really think so?
I really do believe that.
Okay. The only way I would possibly agree with that is the left-wing fascists that shut up people on campuses and allow, try to stop freedom of speech. But it's just, I'm perplexed by your position and your inability and your unwillingness to denounce Marxism. I don't know how many, another 100 million people dead, maybe you'd change your mind.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Yes. Clearly I always love intellectual conversations or such. Now, the central theme for this particular discussion, I know they were going back and forth, but the central theme of this particular discussion has got to do with Marxism and fascism. So in giving a brief synopsis about the entire conversation, the gentleman on one hand is more of Marxist in nature. Let's say he supports the theory propounded by Marxists, or he supports the Marxism theory. And Charlie Kirk, on the other hand, also supports the ideology of fascism. So the gentleman on one hand, as I made mention previously, is expecting Charlie Kirk to denounce fascism, whilst Charlie Kirk is also expecting him to denounce Marxism. But it seems we are not reaching a consensus at them, because everybody holds his ideology in high regards. If I'm supposed to give a brief synopsis about the entire discussion, that is what I got to do with. Now, quick one. The term Marxism and fascism is likely to be new to a few of us, so let me try my possible best to give a brief understanding to all and sundry regarding the word fascism and Marxism. Marxism ideology is of a belief that societies should not be segregated into classes. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. Society should not be segregated into classes. We are all working for a common good. You understand? Yes. So in Marxism, there is nothing like, private production, private ownership. No, everything is actually owned by the community. And this particular practice somehow ensures, evenly distribution of wealth. You understand? So that is why it prevents, segregating individuals into classes, as I made mention previously. And Marxism, on the other hand, is when power is vested into the hands of a particular ruler, one party, regarding a particular country or community. So clearly, Marxism is more of an opposing view to the democratic principles we all know, or the system of democracy that is being practiced by a whole lot of countries. I believe you understand. So that is something simple regarding the conversation that ensued between Charlie Kirk and the gentleman. But from the onset, I realized, yes, the gentleman claimed the end that he wouldn't really describe Charlie Kirk as Marxist. Yes, so he's not. But it is very obvious that the gentleman, on the other hand, really supports the Marxism point of view. And I also remember Charlie Kirk from the onset describing Marxism as the greatest killer of mankind, dating back for 100 years now or something. Yep. Normally when I'm doing something of the sort, I do not stand with any of the parties involved. I try my possible best to analyze it from a realistic perspective. I do this without any political lens, so that at the end of the day, we will decide which way to go. I believe you understand. So I told you previously that I like intellectual conversations and such. Now, one thing I really admire about this particular conversation has got to do with the fact that both parties hold their perspective or ideologies with high regards. Though I am not 100% describing Charlie Kirk as Marxist in nature, let's assume he is the Marxism on the other hand, with the gentleman being a Marxist on the other hand. They were just going back and forth, each one making a beautiful point without attacking the other party. They all made their point known, which is something very beautiful. Regarding intellectual conversations as such, I also realized that none of the party was wrongly attacking the other party, you understand? Now, I normally say that in society, we need to always respect the perspective of one another. If you are able to prove yourself before reasonable doubt, then you are likely to get a party having a change of mind or change of ideology in one way or the other. But I realized that they were going back and forth to understand that they all went back with the same ideology they had before beginning this particular conversation. And I like the gentleman, you understand, talking of Charlie Kirk and the gentleman, talking of Charlie Kirk and the other gentleman. Yes, I like the kind of conversation they had. And I believe intellectual conversation should always be something as such. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I wouldn't talk much on this. Neither will I share my personal views regarding Marxism and Fascism. I didn't really come here to do that today. Yeah, so it's been beautiful. It's been a beautiful conversation. Let me have your thoughts on this particular subject that was just discussed, bro. Let me have your thoughts. Let's keep the conversation going on at the comment section. Let's keep the conversation going on at the comment section. Between Marxism and Fascism, which one will you embrace and which one will you denounce? Alright, ladies and gentlemen, as I made mention previously, I wouldn't take much of your time. Again, my name is Redu, and I'm excited we've gotten the opportunity to react to this particular piece. Well, if you love the content I do create, if you love what I do, and you genuinely want to be part of this beautiful family, do what to subscribe to the channel, like this video, and keep your comments coming. Peace.